Has Kia messed up its best-selling car? I blooming hope not, because I've been recommending the Sportage for years. You should shortlist the Sportage. Just look at it, it's stunning, isn't it? And I don't want to look like an idiot. I'm going to reveal to you the changes that Kia have made, and I'm going to investigate if they're for better or for worse. There's definitely one change that is for worse, I'm afraid. I'm going to conduct some very consumer-focused experiments and some not-so-consumer-focused experiments. It's really annoying, like now, to see how this car measures up to its competitors. I'll even showcase some of its clever consumer tech to see if it's a gadget or a gimmick. Who the hell's driving this thing? And by the end of the video, I need to establish a conclusive verdict on this car, and it's so important that I get it right because tens of thousands of people will buy this car and I don't want them to be making a mistake. I'm Matt Watson, you're watching Carwow. Kia has given the Sportage a major facelift. Look how different it is to the previous generation car. So instead of things being all pointy, they've made them more upright and vertical and square. It kind of follows on from the EV3 and the EV9. That's the look they're trying to give here. And do you know what? I like this. I think this works. I think it's a better looking car, definitely from the front. But what have they done to the rest of it? Well, here's the side and the rear of the old Sportage. Now, see if you can spot the differences on this one. What differences are you spotting on the side? Okay, at the side, all it is the wheels. You've got new wheel designs, once again, kind of squarey. At the back, what are the differences at the back? No, too slow. Okay, so all it is actually is these bumps here in the rear lower part of the bumper. That reflector is a slightly different shape than before, and the light clusters are the same shape, but inside some of the detailing has changed slightly. I think they spent all their money on the front redesign and kind of didn't have anything left for the rest of the car, which is a bit of a shame. But there are some changes that you can't see, and they're quite important. Kia has simplified the engine lineup. There is now only one engine. They've ditched the diesel, and so all you can get is a 1.6 litre turbo petrol. But at the moment it comes in two flavours: the engine on its own with 150 horsepower, or this one here, which has the engine mated to an electric motor for 240 horsepower. Now you can get the entry-level car as a manual or an automatic. The hybrid is always an automatic, and the cars are normally front-wheel drive, but you can upgrade to four-wheel drive, which is what this car has. Now in the future there will be a plug-in hybrid version, and the claimed economy would be something like, I don't know, 100, 200 miles per gallon. But as we all know, that's never the case with plug-in hybrids at all, is it? Never even get close to that. It's just blooming nonsense. Anyhow, what's not nonsense is the performance of this particular car here, and I'll show you why now. You wouldn't expect a family SUV from Kia to be particularly nippy, but let's find out. I'm going to launch this car and time it with my specialist timing gear. So there is no launch control, obviously. I just floor the throttle. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Ooh, picks up all right, actually. 0 to 60 takes 7.2 seconds. What's the quarter mile? Come on, 15.4 seconds. I'm laughing because it's the same quarter mile time I've had out of a Volkswagen Golf R32. And that was like a serious performance car back in the day. We have come a long way. It can go well, but with a car full of your family, you need it to be able to stop well too. This particular version of the Sportage is quite a heavy car, weighing at over 1,700 kilograms. That's obviously because you've got the four-wheel drive system and the hybrid system. But there is a benefit to the hybrid system when it comes to braking, because you get that regen braking effect. So you lift off the accelerator and the motor slows down the car and recoups some power, which should also help with the braking performance, as should the premium brand Michelin tyres. But we're going to find out now, because I'm going to do a brake test from 60 miles an hour. If we can get sub 35 meters in these conditions, we are laughing. That'll be really impressive. But here we go, let's see what it'll do. 3, 2, 1. No, hooked. Yeah, wow, that's really good. 34 meters. One of the best things about the Kia Sportage was its large boot, and apparently they haven't changed or reconfigured anything for this new version, so it should be excellent. In terms of litrage, on paper, 590 litres. Now, what I have here is 10 suitcases. I'm going to see how many of these I can fit into that boot. Just as a point of reference though, numbers on paper don't always work out to what it is like in reality. And with the Audi Q3 I tested just the other week, I fit 9 of these in its boot. So how will the Kia perform? I'm going to show you something actually with this. This is the top of the range car, so we should have hands-free tailgate opening. There we go, just stand near to the boot and then move away and it opens itself. Right, so we have some nice features like no load lift to lift stuff over. You got some other good features like a 12-volt socket, tie down points, and you can fold the seats down by pulling handles in the boot, and they're like completely flat. Let's get the load cover out of the way so I can start loading these suitcases. Right. This is not looking promising right now. Maybe I can get a couple more in. Don't know if the boot's going to shut. The only other option is to try a different configuration. Don't know if this will work. I'm going to end up in the same place really, aren't I? Right, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Will it? Maybe like this? No. That's only 5? Ah, I have a trick. Now in the Audi Q3, I was able to slide the bench seat forward. In this, I can make this seat backs a bit more upright, so I'm going to do that now. There you go, thanks Lewis. Cameraman Lewis helping there. Just make sure it's, yeah, you could travel like that if you have to. Okay, does this change things much? Yes, it does. But probably not by quite as much as I need it to. That's 7. I don't think I'm going to squeeze any more in than that. So big on paper, not quite as big as you might think in reality. But still, I mean, how many suitcases do you need to take with you? That's quite a lot, 7 in there. I guess we'll take that. And there are some nice features as well, like this load cover, it'll fit underneath that false floor. Actually, I've got another idea. Let's try a different configuration. Right. No, that's not going to work at all. That's not working either. Yeah, no matter which way I skin it, it's always going to end up like that. This car holds 7 of these suitcases, and because I haven't changed it, it's exactly the same as with the old car. However, there is something that they have changed. Kias have gone up in price. They used to be the cheapest cars in their category, but not anymore. They're about average. For instance, the pricing of this Sportage is almost identical to a Nissan Qashqai and a Skoda Karoq. The starting price of each of them is £31,000, and if you go for the top spec version with the biggest engine, they're about £44,000. Do you know what? It's a little bit like when you go to the supermarket. It doesn't matter where you go, you end up paying the same. You know, Sainsbury's, Tesco, Asda, all of those, like they just price match. That's what's happening with cars. Apart from obviously with like Lidl. What's the car version of Lidl then? Oh, I know, JQ. This is pretty crazy. How quick this engine starts up when you floor the throttle. It's gone from off to full throttle to off again, like that. No, then revving up, it's just. Kia must watch my videos because they've fixed 2 of the complaints I had about the interior of the old Sportage. This gloss trim here might scratch easily. Their centre boss, which you do look at and sometimes touch, they always feel cheap in Kias for some reason. What's the matter with you? As you can see, a new steering wheel, which feels really nice. And yeah, the central boss feels good as well. And the black plastic trim has gone. It's been replaced by this that doesn't scratch. That's really good. Some of the other materials are different as well. And they've reduced the bezel around the infotainment screen. But other than that, it's very similar to it was before. So you've got like the quick climate control buttons there. They're not physical buttons. They're like touch sensitive, but they're always there. And you can toggle between like your media and your sat nav or that, which is quite handy. But you do have physical buttons. Look, for the actual temperature, which is easy to use while you're driving. I'll just turn that down, so dead easy to do. The infotainment system, it's reasonably quick enough, although some of the things are a little bit hard to find in these menus, but they have updated it so you now get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Digital driver's display has enough information, though be warned on the entry-level car, it's a tiny little screen, looks awful. The rest of the car though, look, we've got decent storage there, 12-volt socket, you've got really big cup holders and they've got these grippers in them, which are handy. You've got some more storage under there and your USB-Cs. The door bins are a decent size as well, and the glove box isn't bad either. And overall it's spacious, it's practical, and you've got a massive, that is massive, that van, that is huge, you can fit my whole head in there. It's all very good, but there are a few things that really annoy me. The way Kia works with their spec and their trims is that really you can't mix and match different things. You just have to walk up to a different trim level. There's only 3 trim levels, and if you want certain things like wireless charging, this roof and surround view cameras, which, you know, I would definitely want to spec. You have to get the top spec car, and that means you're paying extra for things you probably don't want, such as the heads-up display, the hands-free tailgate, and this remote control parking feature. Really hate it when manufacturers do that. Hopefully though, the way this car drives will help calm me down a bit. Cars like this aren't designed to be fun to drive. That's not their priority. No, they're just big practical boxes for ferrying your family about. However, the old Kia Sportage always handled a bit better than other similar SUVs, and this new one is no different, and it's mainly down to the suspension. So it has relatively firm suspension for this kind of car. That does mean that you feel the bumps a little bit more and occasionally you get a thump. It's never terrible though, but it does mean that even this heavy hybrid actually corners pretty flat. It's surprising. Now, it's not perfect though. You're not going to be going, oh look, I'm going to take a detour down that twisty road because this is so much fun, because actually, you know, the steering's a little bit on the numb side, and it never feels quite as connected as something like a Audi Q3. And if you want to see my full in-depth video review of that car, click on the pop-up banner or scan the QR code or follow the link in the description, and you should check it out because there is a serious problem with that Audi. What isn't a problem with it though is the fact that you can get that Audi with adaptive dampers, which just makes it seem more sophisticated to drive. And while you can get this Kia with adaptive dampers if you live in Europe, you can't in the UK. Don't worry, it's nothing to do with Brexit. I actually spoke to Kia UK and they said it's because they just wanted to make the car as affordable as possible for UK customers, so they didn't spec it. However, there is one area where they haven't scrimped on comfort for this car, not even here in the UK. The majority of the tens of thousands of people who have bought a Kia Sportage have done so because they want something that's good for like ferrying their family about and for commuting to work and back. And for that kind of business, it's a very good choice. So when you're on the motorway, you've got adaptive cruise as standard on all but the entry-level manual car. It's reasonably quiet, it's comfy, there's not much tyre noise. It's great, and the hybrid system's quite punchy. You know, you put your foot down and way it goes. It's quite seamless how you get that thrust as well. The only slight annoyance is that for the engine when you just put your foot down suddenly, but it's not too bad, and the car changes its gears really quite quickly. All in all, it's a rather inoffensive, pleasant experience. But what's the new Sportage like if you're in the back seats? The old Sportage was brilliant in the back seats, and the new one is exactly the same because they've not changed anything, which is great. I mean, look, lots of headroom, knee room's good as well. These seats in the recline position are very comfy, and huge seat bases, so there's loads of under thigh support. You can stretch out underneath the seat in front, and your complaint is that these seat rails there that sort of like limit how wide you can have your legs. What's it like with three in the back at once? Shall we find out? Lewis wasn't ready for this, but we're going to do it anyway. Come on, jump in. You're going to have to hold your camera, matey boy. You'd rather have a GoPro, wouldn't you? Sorry. It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, that's okay.
For this kind of car. You all right, Lewis? Am I in focus?
Yeah, you are now.
Do you want to show our legs?
It's all right, isn't it?
Do you want to show yourself? Bit of a selfie? Look. Brilliant. Okay, hop out. Fitting a baby seat was exactly the same as in the old Sportage. You have ISOFIX angle points there, which are reasonably easy to get to, and because the seat's raised up and the rear door's quite large and you've got quite a bit of knee room, it's quite easy to even fit a bulky rear facing seat. Features that I like in here are, look, we've got USB-Cs there on the seats, you've got little hooks on the seat backs. The door bins are okay in size, you can fit normal little bottles in there, and there's some other good features, cup holders. But what's better is through loading. See, it's not always good to change things. I wish I'd changed one thing though. While quality in the front is generally pretty good, here in the back you've got like hard plastic here on the door tops. However, in a JQ7 the quality extends throughout the cabin. If you want to see my full in-depth video review of that car, click on the pop-out banner or scan the QR code on screen now, or follow the link in the description. That car might actually surprise you. I'm going to show you something that might surprise you about this Kia. See this? It's for that. That's quite clever and useful. Tell you what's not quite so clever and useful. Having the central seat belt coming from the roof. I know some other cars do that, but in those I find it annoying as well. Anyway, here's some other annoying things about this car. The top of the range car has this feature where you can drive it forwards and backwards using the key fob. So that's to get you in and out of a tight parking space. The way you have to do it is press and hold this button here, or try not to press that button on the other side, otherwise you'll confuse it. So you press and hold that, and then it should activate, and then you press one of these forwards or backwards buttons, but I can never seem to get it work. I've tried different combinations and permutations. I've looked in the manual. Let's just try, maybe it'll work now. That demo we did at the beginning was Nick was actually driving. He's like, looking down. I've made it work on other Kias, here's another example, but it's always been temperamental no matter what I do. And this one I just can't for the life of me make it do it. Right, press and hold. Oh, it's making a noise. Oh, that. I'll give up. There's only one standard colour and it's white, so everything else you have to pay over £600 for, and certain colours are only available on high spec cars. I f***ing hate all these beeps and bongs. Is this car good enough when driving? Shut up. All in all, it's, oh, for f***'s sake, just the hassle you have to go through to turn them off. Right, how do we turn off the sound noise? Oh, is it that one? Can I do that? Will that do it? Maybe I'll take my off the road and crash into another car while I try to make it shut up. The rear view camera is quite low down and it doesn't have a washer, so you have to get out and wash it yourself with your finger, and it's really annoying. Like, that's one of the disadvantages of the hands-free tailgate. That beeping isn't quite loud enough, is it? I didn't notice that. Ow, I think it's bent my glasses. The body on this car is so blowing heavy, you could actually use it to build up your shoulder muscles. Look at that. Oh, I only reckon I could do 8 reps of this. Oh God, I've got the burn on. You don't want to get your fingers in the way of it. Like if you drop it down, it could be absolutely catastrophic. Ouch. Bleeding. If you like to tow, then this car might not be for you because the maximum tow capacity is 1,650 kilograms, and if you go for a Volkswagen Tiguan with a diesel engine, that can tow 2 tons. There's another Kia though that can tow 2 tons. A diesel Sorento can also tow 2 tons. As with other SUVs like this, you benefit from that raised driving position. It's particularly good in this Kia because the dash is quite low, so it's easy to drive through gaps. You can tell where the corners of the car are. One issue is the rear window is a bit shallow, and you've got some really thick rear pillars, so when you're doing this and pulling and looking over your shoulder, especially doing it the other way, looking over there, it creates quite a blind spot. Now I'm a bit fortunate because this is the top spec car, so you do have one feature that you don't get on the other models, and that's a surround view camera. It's really handy when you're trying to do things like a U-turn, which I'm going to try now. Oh. Right, will I make it round? This says maybe. Come on. And hopefully I won't crash into this other Kia Sportage. Sportage meets Sportage. So that tech's useful. I don't think I would have attempted that or done it in one go if I'd not had those cameras. Such a shame that you can't spec them on lower trim levels. But there we go. I don't know why they didn't update that as part of the changes they've made to the car. And that begs the question, has Kia done enough to this new Sportage to justify its position as being one of the very best-selling cars in the UK? So then, overall, can I still recommend the Kia Sportage? Should as many people who bought the old one buy this one? Well, yes, they should, apart from one caveat, of course. If you need a diesel engine, there isn't one anymore. Other than that, though, the upgrades are definitely worthwhile. I'm happy to continue recommending the Kia Sportage.